I'm very curious what everybody thinks about this one because it's kind of nuts. The Suns would receive Kristaps Porzingis and Jaren Jackson Jr. So those, I want to make that clear. The Suns are getting Jaren Jackson Jr. In this trade. The Celtics would get John Conchar, Zach Edey, Jay Huff, Vincent Williams Jr., Scottie Pippen Jr., Gigi Jackson. So a bunch of small contracts, young players for Kristaps Porzingis, who's on an expiring deal. And the Grizzlies would be getting Kevin Durant. Again, Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to the Suns in this scenario. So the Suns trade Kevin Durant straight up for Jaren Jackson Jr., who's expiring, and Kristaps Porzingis, who's expiring. How do you feel about that?
Well, you weren't here for yesterday's episode for Trade Machine Tuesday. Me and Gerald had a nice conversation in Espo as well about Trip. And the trade that I added to the plot of 35 some odd trades that Gerald put in his article.
Yeah.
I had the Suns in the deal getting both of the players I just got done speaking to, Nick Claxton and Jaren Jackson Jr. How realistic is it? Michael Jordan shrug. If they can get one of those two, I would feel content with everything that they're doing going forward. So your deal is very similar to that, where you get Jaren Jackson Jr. and an additional player that can play the center position in a versatile manner on both ends of the court. I'm all for it if it's possible.
Jason says the Grizz are never trading Jaren Jackson.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
When you get a new head coach, you want to shift the roster in a way that's going to align with the style of play that they're desiring. How aligned is Jaren Jackson Jr. with that? I guess we'll find out shortly, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that are in limbo in Memphis right now.
And the question of why would Memphis do this, I do think that that's the biggest question here, because for Boston, you're turning a player that, honestly, Porzingis has had a down year. Who knows what the hell is going on with his illness? Super weird. Not going to get into too many conspiracies here, but super weird. You turn that into a bunch of young contracts, young players. That's a huge win for them. Again, that's the only way the money works in this. Memphis is gutting their entire roster, but not their picks, to get Kevin Durant to pair with Desmond Bane, John Morant. You're going to have to basically revamp everything else with your picks, free agency signings, and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's a tough sell from Memphis's point of view. It's basically new coach. We want to go in and we want to make a big splash and get Kevin Durant. I think Memphis is the one who says no here, but I think this one's a little bit more realistic than the first one.
Yeah, I could see a world in which this, if Memphis is out on Trip for whatever reason, and they're trying to figure out what's the best return they could get for him, how much better are they gonna get than getting KD and some picks?
Yeah, it's interesting also with the Jaren Jackson Jr. contract situation, because he's going to want a contract extension. Sky Falcon says it's also tricky because he won't sign an extension if it's not enough money, and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Now, of course, you're talking about trading Kevin Durant here, who would also be a free agent. But I think I would sign Jaren Jackson Jr. to an extension.
Not only would you do it, but I would do it. And not only would we do it, but Matt Ishbia would open up the entire
100%.
Come on, man. So sorry, Matt, I'm about to drop it again for alignment purposes. If we're gonna keep talking about, we're gonna rack them up today. If we keep talking about the Michigan State size,
would you do it with uncertainty around an extension? Or would you only? But I know that you feel like he would.
I think he would, right?
But if you don't know, let's say Jaren Jackson goes, I would want to re-sign, but I'd also want to test the waters. So I want to see what I can get. Would you do this trade, KD for KP and Jaren Jackson Jr.?
That's where it gets tricky, but there's also ambiguity with Kevin Durant. If he sticks around, is he still going to be around past this season? So because of that,
I think you still do it.
You got to roll the dice.
I mean, Booker with two 7-footers that can shoot three. I know Jaren Jackson Jr. is not fully 7 foot, but defensive presence that can shoot threes. He's not small.
6'10" with 7'5" wingspan.
7'5" wingspan.
Yeah, he's a footer.
He's a great fit long term with Book as well. Modern spacing 4 or 5 in the NBA.
He can exist on the court without Devin Booker in ways that are viable and relevant too.
Yeah.
So